see what's in the request pipeline. We got Sweetgreen and Okta. I'll look at Okta because it's a software stock. And I used to be long Okta. If you guys are around for some of my first streams out of prison, Okta had a bad quarter. It dropped a bunch, and we ended up buying some Okta. It's an auth company. Any developers out there know it well, because it is the big auth provider for enterprise applications. Stock has not changed a lot. We will look at Novo later. Nice new update on Godel is the up-down arrows. I really like this because I was reaching for my mouse, but now I can just do up-down, which is much better. Okay, Okta has 170 million shares outstanding, $80 a share. 80 times 170 is 13.6 billion. That is the market capitalization, gentlemen. 13.6 billion. It's about the size of an IonQ, by the way. So we might want to compare this company and IonQ and see which one we prefer. $2.3 billion in cash. I think they have some debt. No hard assets at this company. 47 million, maybe furniture, desktops, maybe a couple servers, who knows. 1.1 billion in convertible debt. Probably converts to equity. Now let's look at the revenue. The revenue is, well, last quarter they did 646 million. And we might have the new quarter in 8K form. But they did 646. Last quarter, I think IonQ did 5 or 10. I haven't looked at Cooler, but yeah, they're doing 2 billion in revenue, roughly 2.6 billion in revenue, while the IonQs of the world are doing 50 in revenue. Quantum teleportation is out. Let's go teleport me. No position on Vertex, no position on 𝗀𝗏𝗏. Haven't looked at vitiligo in a long time. Again, I'm using my mouse when I don't need to. Okay, I guess Okta revenue growth slowing a little bit here. There's only so much you could do in auth, right? I mean, how much can you possibly grow auth? You do auth, then you do security. I mean, I don't know where you go, kind of go from there, you know? Auth can be disrupted. I mean, you can roll your own auth. And Lord knows, Okta is the target of a lot of 0 days. I mean, they make a good product, from what I understand. I don't know. Good question. I think a lot of these enterprise guys want to use the standard vendor. Rolling your own introduces a lot of complexity. Sleeping medicines, Belsomra, orexin drugs. This is not medical advice. I'm happy to give financial advice, but quantum is up again. Lord of mercy. This thing will never end. But like I said, the demotivation is kind of what kills the trade when it finally cracks. When it finally cracks, you got press. No mercy. But there's no... When it cracks, you're just like, this was so painful. I just want to get out. I just want to get out. There's new cat, Susan. This is my old cat, Trashy, from before prison. She's back. My dad was taking care of her for 5 years. And when my dad passed away, Trashy's back home with me. My dad loved that cat. And Mama came over for Christmas and met my new woman. That was pretty cool. Yeah, there's definitely going to be more Armand. I'm going to look at SLS as a pretty good candidate for that. It's a small cap, but we take what we can get. Profits are profits. It used to be really hard to short these small caps, but they kind of got rid of the rule. You had to put $5 of collateral up when you shorted any stock. So if you looked at a $1 stock, you'd have to put $5 of margin up for shorting a $1 stock, which is just nuts. We ain't doing that. Yeah, so this growth slowing for Okta is not wonderful. And again, you know, where is the growth going to come from? But I think the valuation is quite good. So let's see how that all cuts across each other, right? Because it's a 2.6 billion in revenue, 12 billion EV. That's only 5 times revenue, which is a really nice sweet spot for your Thoma Bravos and Vistas to acquire SaaS. And they're very good SaaS operators at these companies. And I'm sure Okta's well operated too. But once it goes off to private equity land. You guys familiar with these companies? Thoma Bravo, Vista, Vista guy is actually technically a felon now. Okta has a moat. Okta has a moat. Everybody on Okta is not getting off Okta anytime soon. You don't want to mess with that software. Once you set it, you are battling for new customers. But, you know, if your company just does auth, I mean, there's something, you know, you can compete on that. Whereas companies that have multiple product offerings, what else is out there, Oral? Just so I know. On Godel, just like Bloomberg, you can press menu and it goes back. And unlike Bloomberg, you can use the arrow keys, which is great. Love the arrow keys. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏, I think they also said early January. Last night's NBA games were nuts, if anybody watched them. Menu, or end. It's menu on Bloomberg, but it's end on the normal keyboard. I say menu because I use Bloomberg so much, but they just take the end key and spray paint menu on it. Yeah, no mouse. I use Bloomberg every day. Got to know what the competition's doing. Yeah, Excel files on iPhone are kind of hard to open. If you go to my website, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Yeah, Quantum's kind of seems like maybe it's fading. We don't know yet. All right, we're still looking at Okta here. Quantum and AI have nothing to do with each other. Quantum is not the future of computing. I know a lot about computing. My wonderful girlfriend is a master of computing. Quantum has some applications. Wallstreet Bets doesn't know what it's doing. Wallstreet Bets like cassava too. How do I know Quantum? I studied it for years. I like WGS. Grill is here, yes. It's been a little while, Islanders. Let me focus on Okta. Yeah, it was a very cursory look at it. Yeah, I mean, momentum stocks are easy to get until they stop working. Everybody knows what the momentum stocks are. Yeah, go long Palantir, go long. It's not hard to get a list of momentum stocks. Galt had an insider buy, so there's some news. It's not big news, but there's some news there. Many are saying these are some of the most regarded individuals ever known to man in the stock market. Maybe I should make a new Reddit account. What do you guys think? How do I get to the bets, man? I need the Wall Street bets, man. Come on, man. Auto removed? Word? That's it? Yeah, I like 𝗙𝗛𝗻, man. No strong opinion on Amphastar. I wouldn't go all in on any stock. What's wrong with you? I fear I'm like normalizing gambling. Well, yes, you can get your bread up quick or you can lose it quick. You know, that's the risk with going all in. It's a double-edged sword. You got to be willing to live by both. Highly regarded recurring revenue. Do you late to buy quantum stocks? It is, yes, it is too late to buy quantum stocks. Oh, are you one of those work-life balance guys? You're one of those guys that's like, honey, I just bought us a guided tour of Zimbabwe. Yay! And all the kids are like, Dad, I love you. Man, I barely know my girl's name, man. I'm here to work. Man should toil the earth. It says that in the Bible. My girlfriend's white. Do I have to play the Rick Ross thing again? 𝗔𝗎's a good opportunity at 560. Regretti, I don't know what's going on with Regretti, man. This stock just round trips back and forth. On December 26th, Regretti was 1077. Nothing has changed between December 26th and right now. 10 to 18, all right? 10 to 18. The only thing that's changed is my net worth. They didn't announce anything on the 26th. That was before Christmas. I'm like cheese, and the market's like Brother Mouzone. That's me. That's cheese. That's Method Man. That's the quantum stocks.
Do I have to do before this man raise up his gun again? Let's go.
Big Muslim. All right. Nation of Islam. What these baggies want from from Bagistani. A place called Bagistan, very far away. I have the fiscal years all wrong here. Fiscal year 25. No, I might have this right. Yeah, DMX is a legend, man. DMX is so crazy. He was in the federal system, and guys knew him in jail that were with him. They would come from another jail and come to our jail, and we'd be like, "Yo, what was DMX like?" He was there for tax evasion. He also pulled over a guy pretending he was an FBI agent which is something that DMX would do. There's some crazy DMX stories, dude. He once went to like one of the guys on the street selling watches, and he was like outside the studio taking a break, and he was like, "Hey, yo, you stole my watch." And he like knocked him out and took all the the fake watches. Then he once kidnapped somebody. Yeah, he's nuts. Yeah. There's so many DMX stories. He went on couples therapy on TV with a bottle of Hennessy. And they were like, "Now, Mr. DMX, you can't have that Hennessy." I was like, "What?" "We're here to get better." He had 15 kids, 14 baby mother. And you had to ask him, what happened to the other? Why'd you do 2 and 1? He said, "No, I didn't do 2 kids with that lady. She just had twins." But I say the same thing. Why should I raise my kids? The market can raise my kids. You could also say the streets would raise my kids, but Wall Street will raise my kids just fine. That little guy will grow some hair on his chest when he has his first Ion Q rip 3x in his face. He's gonna be an adult. That's how you go from a boy to a man. "Dad, I shorted the stock and it went up 2x. What do I do, Dad?" "I don't know." "But they have a margin call, Dad." "Answer the phone. Pick it up." "Go ahead. You did it. You did it to yourself. Did Mr. Margin Man make you short it?" "No." "Then go ahead. You shorted it." "Dad, what? I just want some sympathy." There ain't no sympathy in this game, son. You want to play this game, or you want to go back to the lemonade stands? "My brother, my friend Jimmy at school, his dad helps him trade." "Well, I ain't Jimmy, and I ain't Jimmy's dad." Now get back to the Excel and do your work. Maybe you find a better stock next time instead of shorting the first thing that comes on your screen. Mom's in the corner like, "Martin, stop. He's just a kid." I blew up my account when I was his age. He can learn. Yeah, it's very thin, Verilion. Barely 2-3 million shares outstanding. You want 100% gains? Be ready for 50% losses. Yeah, do some consulting, man. You have to worry about what time the market's open or closed. How much am I going to get paid to give you this advice? Dave is a fintech stock I looked at the other day. I liked it. I'm not long it. I try not to jump into stocks I just looked at for the first time. I'm saying I haven't done it before, but try not to. Yeah, New Year's might work, might not. The way I like to think things is like, if you're willing to short or long 5% of the portfolio, let's say, you put it in and you say, "I'm not going to look at this stock for 2 weeks." You know, that's probably the better way to think about it. But look, I mean, it's very rare to see a stock go from 10 to 17 in 2 days with no news. It's almost certainly going to go back down. It's just a question of like, you want to be the bull who shorted and taking all this pain when, you know, you don't have to be. I don't have to, 1, 2. I don't know. I mean, I really like the quantum shorts. But the whole point of the market is that you don't have to, right? That's the entire point of the stock market. That's the one thing Warren Buffett wants to leave this world teaching us is you don't have to swing at every pitch. So if you didn't swing at Rigetti at 11, now you can swing at it at 17. You got to keep buying calls. Estimate how much theta you're willing to burn. You willing to burn your whole account? Well, that'll get you the most upside if you're right. Not willing to burn your whole account? It'll be less upside, but you'll be safer. Your call. I think you can give up on a short either at a certain price point. You say, "I'll reevaluate this at some other time." It's like a time stop out. Oh, or you might give up on it if the fundamentals improve or something like that. Your thesis has changed. There's a couple of reasons. Usually you should have some instinct. Like, I've given up on DJT somewhat temporarily. I will revisit it. Instinct helps a lot. I try to do as much as I can, Jerome. Probably the biggest losses I've ever made, almost always, are in impulsive moves. Where I just say, I want to do this because I feel like it, as opposed to, I want to do it because I should do it. And I think that's something that a lot of people have a problem with. Really good traders don't have a problem with that. But you also have to have conviction. You have to be willing to make the bet when the opportunity is there. And you gotta be willing to look stupid sometimes. If you're only willing to look right every time, well, you're gonna get 2 trades a year, like the 𝗀𝗏𝗂s and the 𝗏𝗏s. And if you're happy with 2 trades a year that work, then by all means. Notice that those are all good contrarian picks. I'm just not in the market so day to day that it's my day job. Otherwise, I almost always win those contests. Yeah, I've done it, Jerome, but not a big position. I've never invested in fartcoin. I've only been shorted. These aren't investable things, man. This is all garbage. The people that trade they're just gamblers. You can short on Binance. You can short on 𝗥𝗃𝐶. You can't short a lot. I mean, literally, you can short it and it goes up 5x and it's still not material. You max your short out on Binance. This is not much money. Now, if 25,000 is a lot to your portfolio, short fartcoin by all means. Now, you can short fartcoin. You can short dog with hat. You can short a basket of these things and you probably get the same performance out of them. Down 99%. Binance, Binance. You can also pronounce it Binance, I believe. Binance is how the French say it, I believe. No, fartcoin's brand new. Doge had a very peculiar situation to it. I mean, listen, if Elon Musk decides to buy 100 million of fartcoin's going to go up a lot. Yeah, 𝗥𝗩𝗘𝗢𝗓 was a pretty crazy thing. I did pay for it. There is the market makers are allowed to buy as much stock in a company as they want without disclosing it, which is really kind of nuts. Here in the real world, when you cross 5%, you have to file 13G. It's not, yeah, they're not market manipulators. It's just good to learn and know that if you short 5% of a company, quant fund could buy 5% of the company and never disclose that they bought it. Yeah, I thought I could keep shorting the stock and make it go down by shorting it. And what ended up happening is there was some quant fund that was willing to buy like 30% of this company or more. I think at one point I shorted even more than that of the company, maybe 50% of the company. And they were willing to just buy it. And never disclosed that they bought half the company. You got to disclose at 5%. At 10%, you have to disclose every trade. But there's a market maker exception. I don't know exactly 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 because I didn't have an account size. I had a credit line that was pretty big. And when I saw that it didn't go down, that they could just absorb all of it, I was surprised. I think I know what quant fund it is, and I like that algorithm now. I was trying to think about teaching one of the other quant funds about it. Sometimes call this quant fund JavaScript. Some of you will pick up on what I'm dropping right now. Some of you won't. There's JavaScript and there's TypeScript. It was weird, Ryan. Ultimately, we were able to settle it. I paid some, then I paid some later. Well, who's TypeScript? Viking is the opposite of a quant fund. Citadel is C++. Well, you can wipe a quant fund out too. There was a quant fund that went belly up too. No, 0.72 is Python. Python, TypeScript, JavaScript. 2 of course. TS. TypeScript. I like RZLT. I put the longs up and I put the shorts down here. So I got a couple longs. I don't belong here. Yeah, I just had no place else to put Sava. I love this tool that we built, this Godel.
Autofilled.
You guys like it too, please subscribe. And we have DMs coming to Godel soon where you can DM me and I will answer every DM, I promise. I'll even have my phone number on there so you can get some more bad stock advice. I don't know if Galt was the easy 30% because it could have gone up as well. It's a lot of variance. Well, I want to make it so that it's like just my Godel number, only for subscribers. The reason is because on Bloomberg, everyone has a customer service number, like a personal assigned representative. We'll have that at our company too, but only the first there's a lot of subscribers now. You know, I don't know, anybody can call me, but the first 500 people, I'll be your service representative. Give me a headset. Steve Jobs would listen in on customer service. He'd be like, no, you got it wrong. Let me take over. Yeah, Riot, I should do that. Right now, we're still pretty early days. So You can figure it out yourself. It's not that hard. And you could ask other users, but the main trick is using the backtick key. So this is where the backtick key typically is. I like that. I like that, Mob. This is the backtick key. And the backtick key, or the tilde key, this key opens the terminal. From the terminal, you can launch components. So once you're in the terminal, you type in a ticker, and then typically you can press F8 for equity, but as we grow, we'll have F9 for option, F2 for currency, and you'll get debt and all kinds of other things like that. But you type F8, and then you do your other command, and you see some of the commands are listed here, and you learn all the commands, and you can figure out what command you want to run. So if you want to run time and sales, you got time and sales here. And then you can press escape twice to close the component. But you can also press shift to move the component around. You can press alt to grow the component. Hold alt, hold shift. And then you can also press shift control to move it around real quickly. Try to make it as keyboard friendly as possible. So double press escape to close it. If you just single press it, it doesn't do anything, because a lot of people close by accident. So you double press and it closes. So anyway, that's how you do it. To go between components, you just press shift or shift tab to go the other way. So I want to move this, I could sort of move it around. If I want to close it, I could double press escape to close it. If I wanted to grow it, I press alt. Of course, you could use your mouse too if you're more comfortable with that. All right, moment we've all been waiting for, or at least I've been waiting for. Painstakingly making this model. What's the Tether news? I mean, NPV is everything, right? Net present value of the future cash flows, that's what it is. Banned in Europe, wow. Okay, so Okta is 20 times cash flow. It's like perfectly valued. All that work. Now, if 𝗕𝗲𝗏 or �2Sigma Vista were to buy them out or something, they've had pretty solid growth, man. I don't think their growth will stop. And then, you know, their cost structure could probably get quote unquote realigned with some synergies. There's some upside.